So did they do it? Did they destroy the Star Wars permanently with the finale of Acolyte? Well, I'm not going to be pleasing the Acolyte lovers who have gone head over heels and consider it a 10 out of 10 series. I just don't agree. I think it's a very weak series, and the ideas and concepts are, in principle, fine, but really the focus on these twins is just kind of pathetic. So, what does the finale give us? Well, as most people were worried about, would they really have the time to tie up all these storylines? And it's like, kind of yes, kind of no. They did answer a few questions, but many things are left open, but not in a good way. So, the basics, without spoiling things, are some people die. Gonna leave it ambiguous. And I was shocked who died. I was really stunned how they died. I'm like, really? It just seemed really absurd and stupid, but that is a lot of the Acolyte. However, some of the good characters did survive, so it's like, okay. But the basic problem throughout the entire Acolyte series is this central murder mystery is one, not interesting. The twists are lame when they're shown, and the twists are kind of nullified by another episode. And this finale basically tries to negate a lot of what was permanently done. You're like, well, what was the point? It just seemed like 3 episodes of this entire series could have just been never done. We would have ended up in the same place. So it just seems like the plot keeps turning on itself. And I understand the writers think they're being clever, but really it's just like, yeah, there can be a thing as being too clever for your own good. And that's kind of the nutshell of the whole series. That said, as always, The Acolyte does have per season. Every episode does seem to have a couple of moments which are really outstanding. And it's the same here, of course. It's mainly the fighting, but some character moments I think were outstanding. However, as usual, the rest of the episode is kind of just dragging along. There are some very powerful cameos, which I can't reveal, it's no spoiler, but yes, they do tie to Sith mythology, and if you know this time period, you'll know who it is just by guessing. And that is the problem, is that you could have predicted most of this plot just very, very easily. That said, there were high points, but we were still left with like just 40 minutes of very anemic storytelling, and that is the problem. The ratio is always very skewed. There are a couple of great minutes, but then there are just very long and very arduous half hour, in this case, 40 minutes of nothingness. It is very unbalanced. But there were a few satisfying moments, especially with Jason from The Good Place, I guess. I will give this a very severe 4 out of 10. Do I recommend seeing it? Well, if you do want answers to a few questions, yes, you have to see it. But is it worth the journey? No, I think the series as a whole was pretty skippable. But they did do some great things here and there. So it's like, if you want to suffer hours and hours of boredom to get to a couple of great moments, that is The Acolyte. Take it or leave it.